Welcome to the What You Need to H2Know podcast, where we feature the people, places, and projects shaping Ontario's water community. I'm Michelle Grenier, the Executive Director of the Ontario Waterworks Association. Throughout February, we're sharing a special mini-series called Flowing into Leadership. In these short episodes, we're introducing you to the candidates running for election to the OWWA Board of Directors. Each conversation offers a brief look at their background, what motivates them in the water sector, and how they see the role of the board in supporting OWWA's members and advancing the industry. Today, I'm pleased to be joined by Negin Salamati from HDR, who's standing for election to the OWWA Board of Directors this year. Welcome, Negin.
Thank you for having me.
I'm really excited to dive into our chat. It's always a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you. Pleasure is all mine. Thanks for having me today, Michelle.
Yeah, no, that's great. Before we dive into some of our pre-planned questions, I wanted to ask you if you could spend a couple of minutes just sharing a little bit of information about your origin story and so who you are and what your day job is, and if you could tell our listeners a bit about your involvement with OWWA so far in your career.
Thank you, Michelle. Of course. So my name is Negin Salamati, and I lead HDR's water and wastewater market sector, and I'm based in Toronto. I've been with OWWA for over 15 years. It feels home, and they're my family. And currently, I am in the Water for People committee, serving as the vice chair, and can't be more proud, honestly, to be part of that team. I can walk you through my background and did you want me to go from there?
Yeah, I think let's take a look back and start at the beginning and tell our listeners a bit about what drew you to the water sector originally and what's kept you engaged over time.
Absolutely. So I was thinking about that as you were asking the question. When I was in high school, I actually wanted to study civil engineering to design buildings. It was a passion for me. Then I started university, and the first year of civil engineering, you get all these first year courses, math, physics, and I had to take an elective course. And I looked it up, and there was a course called water engineering. And I was like, how hard can that be? That's my easy one. I'll take that one. And honestly, it wasn't an easy course, but made me change my career. I completely changed my major to water engineering right after that course. I think what it sparked me was how hard it was in the world, in today's world, in 20th century, to learn about access to clean water, and yet it's important for, the most important thing after air for human beings to actually live. So it was fascinating. I could learn how to engineer water, which wasn't a word I would use for water before that. And I had no idea what that even meant. So from there, I kept loving it so much that I did my master's in wastewater treatment in Montreal. And this time I was passionate about learning how to do reuse, turning wastewater to water. In my life, I've been privileged actually to travel the world. But one thing always amazed me is that no matter how wealthy a country is, they always go through challenges of having the ability to provide water to their people. Quality is one thing, but quantity, I guess, is the most important thing right now, too. Then when it comes to sustainability and learning about reuse, I worked on an NSERC granted project with a group of graduate students, master's, PhD on an MBR, membrane bioreactor. And I remember today that I was taking plates, which was, aluminum and iron, trying to create coagulants while keeping the bugs alive. So it was really interesting working in lab day and night. And I really had so much fun doing that, so much that I started doing my PhD. It started by doing a lot of work in the wastewater reuse work and a lot of treatment side. But halfway through my PhD, I think the little kiddo inside me started telling me what happened to engineering the water, and that's where I learned about the fact that I really wanted to do engineering and practical work. I had done so much science work, And I started finding that. What I did, I started cold calling. And there was a lovely manager at the time for me, and my great mentor and friend today, Isabelle Pinault, which I walked into her office as a cold call and told her, I want to learn, what do you guys do? I want to learn about how do you guys engineer? And I'm a water nerd, but I want to engineer. So she looked at me and she said, seems like you're in the right place. And a couple of weeks after, I was in a sewage pump station being a site inspector. And that was it. I started my career on site, and it was great learning all the things we learn at school to putting into practice. And I've been fortunate to do research, teach at the university, work, collaborate in the water sector for I think over 15 years now. And every day feels like first day that I started, because I think every day we're learning new things and there's no days like the other day.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest benefits of working in water is that there's always a new challenge.
Yeah, for sure.
So thinking about that, I guess, you've had experience in wastewater, you've had experience in water, you've gotten to dabble in research and then the applied part. What aspects of working in the water sector do you find most meaningful or motivating, especially when that work is challenging?
Um, I think every day is giving back to the community for me. What motivates me is the water sector, is the opportunity to give back to the communities we serve. Access to safe, reliable water is something that many people understand and take granted, but behind that reliability is is a tremendous amount of responsibility and expertise and care that's been put in place. So being part of this group that helps protect something so essential is incredibly meaningful to me. I see our sector as one extended family working toward one shared purpose, which is protecting critical infrastructure, supporting the growth of our communities, safeguarding our environment for future generations. I think that sense of collective responsibility is what keeps me engaged, committed, and even when the work is challenging, those are the things that keeps me motivated every day. I think it reinforces me that what we do is truly a form of service. We help to protect something fundamental for families and communities. And I don't take that at all lightly. And I remember one thing that one scene in my life that I was part of a community event. It was a public information session, and a young mother walked to me and was asking me if we're actually fixing the issue they had, which was having lead in their pipelines. And she was asking me if the water that we're providing to her baby is safe to drink. I think that moment really stayed with me. It was a reminder that our work is not abstract, it's directly impacting people's life and peace of mind, honestly.
Yeah, it's a huge responsibility.
Yeah,
And yes, I enjoy that aspect of our work for sure.
agreed.
Agree with you there. So thinking a little bit more about your role as a committee leader and obviously a leader within your own organization, and looking back on your career so far, what's one lesson or experience that has shaped how you approach leadership or decision making?
Very good question. Um, I think one of the most important defining lessons that shaped my leadership approach is um, listening. I think putting people first and listening are the most important things that I've learned early on in my career. Like any, enthusiastic young professionals and engineer, I was really focused on delivering technically sound solution and moving so quickly and finding those solutions. As I grew into leadership roles, I came to understand that quality and sustainability of any decisions depends on how well you understand the people, the context, and the underlying issues. So today, I really try to lead with intention. I take the time to listen carefully, to understand the perspective around the table, and to recognize the strength and talent within a team. I think strong organizations are built around capable people. The leadership is about creating an environment where those capabilities can surface and align toward a common goal. When people feel heard and respected, they engage more deeply, so you see better outcomes. I also believe that bringing a more structure and methodical approach to decision making. So in complex operational environments, it's important to balance the thoughtful analysis with timely action. I try to clearly understand the problem, assessing risks, gathering the right expertise, then moving on for clarity and accountability. I think discipline is built around trust and within both teams and the partner and stakeholders. So I think at the end of the day, the leadership part is the ability to create alignment, stability, confidence, and it's about setting direction, empowering talented people, and ensuring that decisions are grounded in both sound judgment and strong values. I think that philosophy has guided how I build teams, and I go through challenges. And again, every day I'm learning. Every day.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Thanks for sharing that. It's very thoughtfully put together. If you could influence one area or aspect of the water sector over the course of your career, what would it be and why is that important to you?
If I could influence one area, I think that would be succession planning and the intentional development of the next generation of our professionals. I honestly have been fortunate to learn from strong mentors who invested in me, their time. They shared their experience and opened doors for me early on in my career. That support has shaped my growth. It's also made me realize how critical knowledge transfer and the developments are in the sector like ours. And I think today we are at a point where many experienced professionals are approaching retirement. And with them goes decades of practical insight, right? Institutional knowledge and leadership wisdom. And if we want to protect our future of our water infrastructure, our communities, our environment, I think we need to be much more deliberate about preparing the next generation. What that means is like creating opportunities for young professionals to learn, to contribute meaningfully, and to build confidence and to develop strong networks within our industry. So I believe we have a responsibility to leave the sector stronger than we found it. Investing in the people, I think it's the most important ways we can do it. And when we support growth, mentorship, and connection, we're not just developing careers. I think we're strengthening the long-term resilience of our sector and sustainability in the entire sector, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that that's at the heart of why organizations like OWWA exist. And hopefully it's one of the pieces of value that members perceive from participating in the association.
Exactly.
So building on that, can you share your perspective as a member where you think OWWA can have the greatest impact for the sector over the next few years?
Yeah, I have questions today. As OWWA member, well, honestly, OWWA is really uniquely positioned to shape the future of our water sector. What they do, they bring, all parts of the industry under one trusted and respected voice. I think the greatest impact will come from strengthening leadership development and advancing knowledge sharing, continuing to build strong and connected professional community across Ontario. I think as a recognized authority in the water industry, OWWA plays a critical role, not in the education and technical advancement only, but in shaping dialogue about policy, innovation, and public confidence. I think through the commitment we have, the events, the training initiatives, and the organization itself, it is actually creating a space where professionals from, we always see utilities, consulting, academia, government, they all can come together and exchange ideas, share lessons learned, and move the sector forward, I think, collectively. I truly believe that important opportunity for OWWA is to continue succession planning and leadership growth. We see as an industry, as we're evolving, and the experienced professionals retire, there's a growing need to intentionally prepare the next generation to step into the technical and both, technical and leadership roles. So OWWA already contributes meaningfully through obviously education, mentorship, and networking opportunities, and continue to strengthen these platforms. But equally important, I think OWWA plays a major role in building that trust, both within the profession and the public. It's all about, I think, transparency, stewardship, collaboration supports consumer confidence, in drinking water systems. So reinforcing that importance of responsible and sustainable water management across of our province, I think is the most important thing.
Yeah. Wow. That's you make it sound like we have a long to-do list, and you're not
We
wrong.
do. We do.
Yeah.
But we're doing great. Honestly, I think the sector, what we've done so far, we couldn't have done it with all the great people like yourself and all of our members. It's about what is evolving throughout our, this decade and the next decade, and how we prepare for the next generation. I think OWWA plays a major role in there.
Yeah. So building on that, how do you see the role of an OWWA board member, and how would you approach that responsibility if you're elected?
I see the role of an OWWA board member both as a steward and a strategic leader. I think someone who helps guide the long-term direction of the organization while ensuring it remains closely aligned with the evolving needs of its members and the sector. It's about providing thoughtful oversight, I guess, asking the right questions and helping position the organization to stay relevant, forward thinking, forward looking, and impactful. I think to me, the responsibility goes beyond just governance. It requires, as I mentioned, I keep telling that to myself every day, to listening carefully to the diverse voices around our industry, understanding the emerging challenges, and helping translate those insights into clear priorities and a sustainable direction. I think if I elected, I would approach the role with a strong sense of accountability, collaboration, and respect to the legacy and credibility that OWWA has built over time. It's about supporting the organization's mission while helping strengthen its role as a leader in education, engagement, and industry advancements. I think strong governance is about balance. So the board role is to provide direction, but at the same time, trusting and empowering the staff and the volunteers who carry out, the work day to day with all the subcommittees that we do have and all the collaboration between different sectors throughout our industry. So I think setting clear priorities, maintaining open communication, fostering alignment, and when people feel supported, I truly believe that we perform at their best, all of us as humans. So it's about offering that guidance, I think, and while listening and respecting the expertise that we have in the sector.
Yeah. Wow, that's really insightful. And I guess I'm pondering all the information you've shared, and you've given me a lot to think about during our chat here. And so maybe while I do that, I'll ask you the sort of one of our wrap-up questions, and is there anything else you'd like to share with our members that you'd like them to know about you or about why you're interested in serving on the board?
I think I would want OWWA members to know that my interest in serving the board comes from deep respect for the industry that we have and genuine commitment to contributing to its continued strength and evolution. I grew in this industry. I've had the privilege of working and seeing so many brilliant experts in our industry, leaders, work, and I want to be part of it to help um, um, create that environment to be able to I benefited from the guidance and these collaboration and support these professional community have provided. And I see board service as an opportunity to give back in a meaningful way and responsible way. So what excites me most is the ability to help shape the future of the water sector, supporting the development of emerging professionals, strengthening that connection across discipline, breaking the barriers, helping ensure that OWWA continues to be a trusted and influential voice in advancing throughout this sector and in our industry. And I think at the core, I'm driven, I try, by a strong sense of purpose. So the work we do day to day has a direct impact on public health, environment, sustainability, and resilience to our community. So it would be an honor for me to be honestly being part of an organization that supports those outcomes, which is privilege and responsibility that I take seriously.
Well, I think I want to thank you initially just for your commitment to the organization so far. I know you've been very active with the Water for People Committee, and that is and I think all volunteer roles to some degree are a thankless job. So thank you for that, Negin.
Of course.
And yeah, and I really enjoyed our discussion, and so thank you again for taking the time to join me today and for accepting the challenge to run for the board.
Thank you.
Yeah, and to our listeners, also thank you for tuning into this episode of Flowing into Leadership. We encourage you to learn more about all of the candidates and to take part in the upcoming board election. The polls will open on March 17th, 2026, and the successful candidate will be announced at our annual general meeting on May 4th. You do have to be a member in good standing in order to cast a vote, and so if you're not yet a member of OWWA but want to support your preferred candidate, please reach out to us at the office or check out the membership tab on our website at owwa.ca. And that's it for today. Until next time.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thanks, Negin. Have a good one.
You too.